equipment, but if you want to add a weight, you can do that. That's absolutely optional. What you will need is a bottle of water and a sweat towel. So I've tweaked the format ever so slightly, and it is a teeny tiny tweak. The rest periods are a little bit shorter and the working periods are a tiny bit longer. But as before, there's 3 exercises within each block, and there's 3 blocks, and then we'll do 3 rounds of each as well to make sure that we can layer up and increase the intensity if we want to. So we're going to stand up, make your way over towards your mat. Zoom crew, I'm going to pop you on mute. Here we go. Perfect. Facebook crew, hey Rach, how you doing, darling? And let's make a start. All right, perfect. So let's set our timer up. Go. All right, so start standing, and we're just going to do knee circles. So one leg is your balance point. You're going to lift up the other knee, up and over and around, keeping strong through the middle so that you stay balanced. Perfect. 4 or 5 on one leg, and then we swap it around. So find your balance on the other leg, lift the knee up and around. So this initial bit is always just mobilization, warming up, getting the joints working. And because we're focusing on the glutes, it's the hip joint that we need to get moving. Perfect. Okay, back to your first leg. We're going to swing side to side, tick-tock. Lift it out towards the side, gently cross it in front of you. So it's testing the balance a little bit to help with balance. Draw in tight through the middle, stand up tall, belly button in tight. Lovely. Changing around for me. So a little cross forward. Kick it out to the side, cross in front of you. Lovely. Nice. Perfect. 1 minute done into our warm-up already. 2 minutes to go. We're going to cross back over to our first leg, so change it round. And as you lift, you're going to pause. Swing it ahead of you, lift and pause. Just for a second, so you feel these muscles start to catch. Good. One more time on this leg. Lift and pause. Perfect. Swap it round, find your balance. Kick it in front, lift and pause. Now as you lift, you may choose to flex the foot as well, drawing your toes forward so that you've got the hip, knee and ankle in line. One more time. Hop. Good. Make your way down onto the mat, onto all fours, please. So tabletop position. Shoulders over the wrists. You're going to take your right leg, extend it out behind you, flex the foot and then pulse the heel up. Just for a few, just to start to feel the glutes working. And then we're going to bend the knee, kicking the heel up towards the ceiling. So watch out for sinking into your lower back. Keep the hips nice and square. Bring it back to the straight leg, pulsing the heel up towards the ceiling, long straight leg, belly button draws in. And then bring that back leg onto the ground. We'll swap it round. Other leg kicks out, straight leg. Dial your big toe down towards your midline. The foot is flexed. So lower back is barely moving because you've got your core strong. Bend the knee, kick the heel up towards the ceiling. Lift, lift, lift. Good. Nice, lots of control. Straight leg, leg extensions, flex the foot, kick up towards the ceiling. Perfect. And to finish off, we're going to do some knee circles. So come back to your first leg, keep the leg bent, and you're just going to rotate out and around, 3 in one direction. Make it as big a movement with the knee as you can. And then 3 in the opposite direction, same leg, big rotations, mobilizing the hip joints. And when you've done 3 on that side, swap it round. 3 in one direction, big loops, whatever direction comes first. Stable through the shoulders, and 3, other direction. Good. Well done, and then that's our warm-up wrapped up. Perfect. So, working the right leg first, you're going to lie on your left side, bend both heels, bring them in towards your hips, and we're going for just traditional clamshells first round. So opening and closing the knee. You can prop yourself up on your elbow, or if you prefer, support yourself down on the shoulder with a more bent arm. But it's that little squeeze at the top, just lifting and lowering the knee. Old school, traditional, but still effective. Coming up to halfway, 20 seconds to go. So the heels stay connected, they're in line with your hips, and you're just opening and closing the right knee, using as big a range as feels comfortable. 10 seconds left to go. Lift, squeeze, lift, squeeze. Good, nearly there. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Pop yourself up to standing. You're going to find a stance which is just wider than hip distance apart. We're going to do a single squat and then lift the leg out to the side like we did in a warm-up. Alternate. Let's go. Single squat, lift. hands just in front of my chest to help with balance. If you prefer to have yours on your hips, do that instead. And you're using the natural range available at the hips, lifting the leg as high as is comfortable. So if the heel comes to the height of the hips, great. If it doesn't, don't worry. What you'll probably find is that the right hip is going to start to bite a little bit because of the clamshells that we've just done. But it's okay, we've only got 10 more seconds to go. So breathe through it. 5 seconds now. Chest up, lift and squeeze, and shake it off. Well done. So left leg working, come back down to the mat for clamshells on the other side. Knees bent, heels close towards the hips. Keep the heels connected, and we go. Little lift and lower. So simple, so small. Doesn't feel like much for the first few seconds, and then it starts to burn a little bit. You get the same options with your upper body. You can stay propped up on your elbow, or if you prefer, lie the upper body a little bit lower, just so it takes the angle out of the hip joint. Over halfway already. Lift and squeeze, smooth and controlled. So this is our third exercise of the first block, bringing that one to a near close. We just have 2 more rounds to go. 3 seconds remaining. Lift and squeeze. Yes, well done. All right, so 20-second break now. Chance for you to grab a quick sip of water. Take your time to make your way onto your right leg for clamshells again. So in 10 seconds, we'll go. As an option for you this time, when you lift the knee, lift the hip as well. So it's a slightly bigger movement if you want to increase the intensity. So the hip just hovers up off the floor as you open the knee, lifting the hip too. And then, not only is the top glute working, the bottom one is as well, because you're lifting the hips up off the floor. This is where we start to get a little bit warmer. If you prefer to keep the hips grounded, do that instead. Over halfway. Smooth and controlled. So it's not a big lift. You're just hovering the hip up off the floor. 10 seconds left to go. Doing really well. Lift and pause. Knee and hip as well as an option. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Pop yourself up to standing. So we're coming down to our squats again with the single leg lift. See if you can make the squat a little bigger, coming down a little lower. Here we go. Squat, then lift. Squat, then lift. Good. So the bigger the squat, the more muscles are being recruited for depth, working them a little harder, legs and glutes, and then especially the side glutes as you lift. Chest stays up and you sink the hips back and down so that the shoulders are always above hip height. So you're keeping your gaze ahead of you. Good, well done. Lift and squeeze. 10 seconds now. Now you should probably feel both sides working, left and right glutes. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Down we go, lying on your right side. So it's the left top hip that's going to work. Connecting your heels. Remember, you can lift the knee on its own or lift the hips as well. So lifting the hips just gives you that extra squeeze. Lower half of the body working as well as the top. Good, 30 seconds left. Lift, squeeze, lift. Yes. Nice, small movement. Focused, concentrated. Halfway, 20 seconds to go. Keep breathing. Okay, really good. Oh, it's such an isolated exercise. You can really feel it. Just over 5 seconds to go. Lift and squeeze. Lower down. Just hovering off the floor if you can. Well done. Good. 20 seconds breather. Grab a sip of water. And make your way over to the opposite hip again. Final round. So, another option for you this time, if you're taking the hip lift already, hip lift, kick out, reconnect, lower. All right, I'll do that again. Lift, kick out, reconnect, lower. Remember, it is an option. If you prefer the clamshells on their own, do that. You can have the hip on the floor throughout as well. Lift, kick out, reconnect, lower. A little bit more to think about. Good, well done. Halfway, 20 seconds to go. So my right hand is just fingertips on the floor, and that's just to help with balance more than anything. The lower half of the body is doing all the work. 10 seconds now. All the while being mindful of the belly button Keeping that drawing in, lower back stays happy. Well done. Hop up to standing. It's time for the squats. Give the legs a quick shake. We're off in 3 seconds. Find your squat width stance, and we go. Squat and lift to the side. Good. Now control the lift. Try not to rely on momentum, swinging the leg up and swinging it down. You set the speed. Your muscles are in control. Dial in the big toes forward so the foot is flexed, unlike my normal pointed toes. Good, 15 seconds now. So you're pressing the sole of the foot away from you. 5 seconds left. So good, so good. And shake it off. Well done. Let's make our way down to the left side for our clamshells. Remember, clams on their own, lifting the hip is an option, or lifting the hip, kicking out your leg, returning it, dropping back down as a third option. So you can dial up or dial down the intensity as you need to pick your workout today. As long as you give me a smile, whatever choice you make, you have options, just keep smiling. Yeah, that's it. Over halfway, you're doing well. Kick back, squeeze. So as you extend your leg, if you're taking that option, quadricep muscles working too. Strong leg. 5 seconds now. You're doing well. Yes, last one. Awesome. Shake it off, fantastic. Grab a sip of water, wipe your face if you're starting to glow. And we'll make our way up to standing. So, we're going to take a long stride back with the right leg. We'll do 3 bottom half pulses when we're there, and then slowly rise. Let's go. Step back, 3 bottom half pulses. Take your time, and then think about squeezing up to lift. Drop it back down, 3 little pulses, and then squeeze everything up. Good. Think about your midline, left and right, squeezing together, and then the midline forward and back, squeezing together. So all the muscles are active and responsible for you lifting up and straightening your legs. And then we've got that little softened bounce to the bottom, squeeze and lift. 1 more. 3, 2, 1, squeeze. Beautiful. Onto your back for hip bridges. Heels close to the hips, hip distance apart, toes facing the front. Belly button draws in and we lift. Full range first round. Squeeze the glutes to get the hips high, lower down, and just leave an inch between your hips and the ground. Lift and squeeze. Good. Tailbone tucked. So you're lowering your tailbone towards your knees rather than arching your back. Just that little curl keeps the lower back happy. Good, well done team. 10 seconds to go. Lift and squeeze. Fluid movement. Continuous motion. Muscles working. Nearly there. Awesome. Hands behind the knees. Rock yourself up to standing. Super quick. We take that long step back with the left leg this time. Hips and shoulders square. 3 low pulses. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Squeeze. 3, 2, 1. Good. Now I'm going to give you some muscle groups to think about. Calves, engage, squeeze. Good. Hover down. Hamstrings, back of the thighs, squeeze. Pulse it down again. Quadriceps, front of the thighs, squeeze. Good. And the glutes, let's give them a big squeeze as we lift. Well done. All together. Low down. Calves, hamstrings, quads, glutes. 5 seconds to go. Nice. 1 more. And shake it off. Excellent. So stay standing for this one. Give the legs a quick rock. Have a sip of water. 10 seconds, we'll take it to our right leg again. So hips and shoulders square. Long step back with the right. You're on your right toe and you're getting ready to bend your left leg. Let's go. Pulse it low. 3, 2, 1. Slowly rise. Engage everything as you go. Beautiful. So with this one, in essence, the slower you go, the more the muscles are working. If it suits your body to come to a 90-degree bend with your knees, do that when you lower. If the bend needs to be a little bit bigger, that's okay. But in essence, what we're looking for is that the left thigh comes parallel with the floor and the right shin parallel with the floor. But modify if you need. 5 seconds to go. Squeeze. Last one. Well done. Onto your back for hip bridges. We're going to add a pulse at the top this time. So bring your heels close towards your hips. Palms on the ground. We lift. Top half pulse. Lower down, hips an inch off the ground. Lift. Top half pulse. Lower down. So again, we keep continuous motion. There's no pauses in this one. We're just lifting and lowering. It's just the depth which changes depending on where we are in the exercise. Top half or coming down low. Over halfway. The chin is lifted towards the sky so that you can breathe, making space for your neck. Nearly there. So close. Well done. Hands behind the knees, rock up to standing. Good. Okay, find your stance. Long step back with the left leg, square hips and shoulders on your left toes. Let's pulse. Down for 3 and slowly rise. Squeezing everything as you go. Think about someone pressing into your belly button so it stops you from arching into the lower back. And again, we're looking for that 90-degree leg position on the knees as you lower. Modify if you need. Squeeze. Put all the focus into your lift. Nice. Squeeze. Good. That's it. 10 seconds to go. Looking awesome. Nearly there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Give the legs a shake. Have a quick sip of water. Third round for block number 2. So 10 seconds and we go. Take your right foot, step it back, square hips and shoulders, squeeze in towards your midline. 3, 2, 1. Let's pulse. Take it low. Now this time I want you to imagine that someone has their hands on their shoulders and they are pushing you down. And you now have to push against their hands to lift back up. So imagine that extra weight, extra muscle recruitment required to resist their hands pushing you down. You are coming up regardless of how strong they are, because you are stronger. Yes, that's it. Lift and squeeze. 3 pulses in your own time before you rise. Hopefully now you notice some fire in your back leg. I definitely do. 3, 2, 1. Up we go. Onto our back again for bridges. This time your option, if you're doing the pulse, is to lift. Knees wide, knees narrow, lower. All right, added option. Lift, knees wide, knees narrow, lower. Otherwise, just the pulse on its own or full range up and down as your first option. So knees wide, knees narrow, outer thighs, inner thighs and glutes working throughout. Little pulse, moving the knees, keeping the hips up. So small, but so effective, especially after the clamshells. Muscles have been worked already. Last few rounds now. Control it, squeeze it, keep the hips high. Yes. Hands behind the knees, rock up to standing. Let's get ready. Long step back with the left leg, square hips and shoulders. Someone is pushing you down. Resist that push, rise up anyway. Down we go. 3 pulses, squeeze. 10 seconds done already. Next check-in will be halfway. Chest up, everything towards the midline. Left and right squeeze together, forward and back. Halfway now. 20 seconds to go. Squeeze and lift. Feel the power of this focused exercise. 10 seconds to go. And we're still smiling, right? Despite the burn. Last one. Yeah, shake it off. Well done. Give the legs a bit of a wriggle. Perfect. Sip of water. And then we're making our way onto all fours. So for a tabletop position, you're going to take your right leg, cross it over the outside of your left knee, right? So the knees are crossed. You're then going to lift and extend on the bell, cross the knees again. Lift and extend, cross the knees. So you're using your glutes, then inner thighs. Pausing at the top as your leg extends, and then trying to magnetize the knees together. So the outside of the right knee crosses over the outside of the left knee. Halfway. Lift and pause. Lower back stays still. Everything squeezes to the midline. Good. You can either point your toe or flex the foot. It's up to you. Pointing toes comes naturally to me. 5 seconds left to go. Nearly there. Last one. Woo! Perfect. Pop yourself up to standing. So we've got skaters moving side to side. Low impact, treat it like a curtsy lunge. Higher impact, you're hopping left to right. So you take your weight over your standing leg, the opposite leg sweeps behind. You can make the movement as big or as quick as you like. So curtsy lunges, lower impact option. Skaters with a bit of air time, side to side, will give the heart and the lungs a bit more challenge. Over halfway. Good. Nice, it's good to see you picking the options, ones that work for you, ones that give you enough challenge. Less than 10 seconds. I love it, I love it. 3, 2, 1, shake it off. Back to all fours. We're getting ready for that cross knee. This time it's the left leg crosses over the right. Let's get ready to extend. Lift it behind you, cross and squeeze the knees. Lift and then lock it in. So it's quite satisfying to really kick the knees in together to feel the leg muscles engage. If you prefer a softer contact, you can do that too. Squeeze and kick away. Foot flexed or toes pointed, as long as the movement comes from your hips and not your lower back and shoulders. Just over 10 seconds to go. Extend with a little lift, squeeze back in. 5 seconds now. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Push back into child's pose. Take a long reach ahead of you. Give the legs a little stretch. Have a sip of water, wipe the face if you need. And then we'll get ready for round 2 on the right leg. So right leg crosses over the left. Get that good tight connection. 3 seconds, then we extend. Ready? Let's go. Kick behind, squeeze together. Now if the lower back is feeling good, you can start to lift that leg a little higher, but check in that it doesn't move your lower back. So it's no good lifting higher if all you're doing is sinking and arching your back. Keep the belly button firm and extend the leg to the range where the glutes are working, not the lower back moving, all right? So if you start to feel your shoulders and lower back rocking, make the movement a little smaller. The muscles will still be working, I promise. Just over 5 seconds now. Let's squeeze. Nice. Well done. Hop up to standing. So we're making our way back to skaters or curtsy lunge side to side. Remember, you can move at speed and take up as much space as you need to. So here we go. If you're doing skaters, you can swing the arms a little bit as well. That way, it'll help you to travel more side to side. So you're using the momentum of the arms. Whichever version you're taking, land with a bent knee so that you're absorbing the weight of the movement rather than stressing the joint. Over halfway already. Rocking side to side. Like an Olympic ice skater, speed skater, working their way across the track. 5 seconds to go now. Nearly there. Keep moving. And pause. Down we go. All fours. Ready for that tabletop position. Left leg crosses over the right this time. Firm through the body. Squeeze the knees together and lift. So squeeze tight with the knees, then extend the leg away. And again, if the lower back is feeling good, lift the leg a little higher, but make sure that the lower back doesn't sink down to compensate for the height of your heel lifting. So all the movement comes from the hips. Shoulders stay firm, rib cage barely moves apart from you breathing, midsection doesn't move, hips to foot, yes, move. Move as much as you can. 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Sink back, child's pose, reach forward, breathe, have a quick drink, and we're into our final round. Okay. So, bent knee crossover, right over left, squeeze the knees tight, get ready to extend your leg. Last round, let's go. Lift, knees together, lift and squeeze. Make the most of each end range. Leg as high as you can, knees as tight as you can. Squeeze, kick it away. Hips square, shoulders square, midsection firm, halfway. So this is one where you don't need to rush. I'd rather you pause, let the muscles fire up, engage, before you move out of each section of the sequence. Good. 5 seconds to go now. One more round of skaters or curtsy lunges. Let's do this. Hop up to standing. Whew. All right, assume your position, pick your variation, bring it low. Let's go, 40 seconds. So this is your last little cardio burst. Keep the legs low, keep the knees bent. Use the arms to propel you side to side. Good, well done. Swinging the back leg just behind you, taking the weight over your stabilizing leg, using the hands. 20 seconds to go, you're halfway. Last few seconds, come on, heart rate up. Burn the calories now and later. 10 seconds to go, you can do this. Perseverance gets you your results. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, down we go to your mat. Left knee crosses over the right, squeeze tight, stabilize your shoulders, get ready to extend. Let's go, lift and squeeze, lift and squeeze. Remember, I'd rather you make the most of each end range. Perfect form, strong engagement of your muscles, then you rush and swing your legs. Let your muscles control the movement. 20 seconds to go, that's halfway. Lift and squeeze, connect the knees. Oh, there's a little rhyme. 10 seconds now. You've got this. Last few rounds, and it'll all be over. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done, good. Push back, child's pose, breathe. Take a long stretch forward with your fingertips. Take a big reach back with your hips. Couple of breaths. Then as you rise up with your arms straight, kick out your left leg, so you're coming into a bit of a plank. Right knee forward into pigeon pose. Sink the left leg down and inch it away from you. Starting upright, shoulders and hips square. Finding your balance. Feel the stretch through the right glutes. And when you're ready, slowly walk your hands forward. Or if you prefer, stay upright. So if the muscles are feeling really tight, upright will be a bit more comfortable. If they need a bit more of a stretch, coming forwards will feel better. Good, well done. Straight arms, extend the left leg, extend the right leg, left knee forward, sink the hips down, inch your right toe back, start upright, hips and shoulders square, feel the stretch through the glutes, and when you're ready, inch it down. Forearms and elbows, maybe they come to the floor, only if that feels comfortable. With deeper breaths, the heart rate starts to slow. You can keep it still or take a gentle rock if that feels better. All right, straight arms again. Extend the right leg, extend the left. Lift your hips up high, downward facing dog. Lower your heels to get a stretch through the lower legs. Lifting your tailbone to get a bit of a stretch through the hamstrings. And then slowly walk your hands towards your feet. Feel the hamstring stretch deepening. Bend your knees whenever you need to. And when your hands are by your feet, relax and pause here for a second. Straight legs or bent if you prefer. Take a little rock side to side. Gently roll your way up to standing, taking your time to return to an upright position. Bring one heel towards your hips. Keep the knees close together as you squeeze your hips forward. Oh, about to lose my balance. So quad stretch for the front of the thighs. Same leg, cross the ankle over the opposite knee for your standing leg. Take that knee wide and then sit back and down. Another glute stretch. They need an extra stretch. So feel it again. The leg that you have lifted around the hip. And then we change side. Quad stretch, heel to hips, knees close together. Squeeze the hips forward. Hopefully by now the breathing a little slower, the heart rate a bit more regulated. Take that same ankle, swing it across the opposite knee. That knee goes wide as we sit back and down. Yummy. Good stuff, well done. Alright, come back up to standing. Feet nice and wide, toes turned out. We're going to sweep the fingertips down, breathe out. Breathe in, reach up, big stretch. Breathe out, lower your hands. Breathe in, reach up. One more time, let it go. Up we reach. Awesome, give yourselves a round of applause. You have been fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, tiptoeing my way over to the mat. Guys, fantastic. Thank you so much if you were taking part or if you were just watching, that's okay too. You can do this exercise again at another time. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. Mwah. Otherwise, I will see you soon. Well done.